Well, hello. Today we're out on Hooper. We're around Lake Burton, which is like on the way to Clayton from like Hiawassee, Georgia. And this is Crow Creek Road off of Burton Dam Road. And this will wind us down, I think, around the lake. Just a hard-packed gravel. Doesn't look anything too serious, but it's good just to get off the tarmac. We've had a lot of rain, so the creeks are very high. I'm not really planning on doing any creek crossings today. There's some traffic back here, so we sort of have to stay awake to that. Looks like a nice little creek to float down in the summertime on an inner tube or something. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of current. Like I said, this is Crow Creek Road. And that's like off of 197, and 197 is off of 76, and 76, you know, takes you to Clayton, or Hiawassee's the other direction. Now we turn right on 197, and if you turn left, that's Popcorn Creek Road, and there's also good riding back in Popcorn Creek. But I've never been around the lake here, so that's why we decided to check this out today. It finally warmed back up. We've had some really cold winter-like weather here in North Georgia, western North Carolina the last couple weeks. I'm talking like 12 degrees. You know, we had much warmer weather earlier in January, and then you know, people got little spring fever and started doing some yard work, and then it was like, wow, it's winter again. So today it's probably 70 something, so it's very comfortable riding. The trees are budding. And haven't been riding for a while, so I just wanted to get out and I actually adjusted the valves on Hooper. This is an xr400r. And I think one of the exhaust valves was a little too sloppy. I had to tighten that up. But, you know, it's much better to have a loose valve than a tight valve. But yeah, we got those all in spec. I normally like to adjust them like the beginning of the season and then at the end of the season. I'm contemplating putting a pumper carb on this, and if any of those people who are watching that have an XR400 and have a pumper carb, leave your thoughts, leave your opinions, tell me if you like it or not. Some people swear by them. Some people say that, oh, you know, it makes cold starting much easier. Other people put them on solely for performance. more response, more throttle response. I'm not really interested in that because I'm not really all about high performance. You know, I'm not, I could care less. I mean, my other bike is an XT, and I mean that has no power at all. So, you know, I'm not looking to win any enduro races. That's not really my concern. My concern is whether it does make it easier for cold starts. Sometimes this bike can be a real bear to start when it's been in hibernation. And I normally always turn the fuel petcock off when I'm done riding, because I don't ride it every day. And I run premium, but I don't have to tell you how bad ethanol is. So I always turn the petcock off and let the carby run out of gas. These bikes will start much easier if you have fresh fuel in your float bowl in your carb. That's a fact. So if you have an XR400 or even a 250R, always start out with fresh fuel in your float bowl. It really does make a difference. Most bikes today, of course, are not kickstart only, so this is not really a big factor for a lot of people. But the XR400 really has a cult following, and I did make sure when I bought mine that it was street legal. I do have a title for it, so that does make it more desirable if and when you ever decide to sell. You might wonder why this is a green XR400. Well, the easy answer to that is I was too lazy to buy new plastics. So all the plastics for these bikes, the 250 and the 400, are all readily available. So I wonder what's out there. I don't know where that road goes. That's just power line access. That's a power line access road. Goes all the way up there. It's very easy to turn this back into a red and white XR. There are a lot of purists. You know, they like the traditional white and red or whatever, you know. But I didn't feel like buying new plastic, so I just hit the old plastics with green, and yeah, it comes off, but I don't really care. So at some point, whenever this bike gets a refresh for plastics, I guess at that point it will turn back into a traditional XR400 looking. I've had people say, what kind of Kawasaki is that? And I'm thinking, what? But they just don't associate any Honda that's green, because we're all used to those stereotypes. Cowies are always usually green, but not this green. Cowie has an ugly green. This is more of a hunter. This is actually Rust-Oleum. Hunter green. Anyway, as you can see, this is a fairly nice little gravel road that's taking us all around the lake. This lake is actually pretty good size, so I'm sure it's probably popular in the summer. Probably has a lot of boat traffic. I've seen a couple marinas and a couple, like, you know, boat places around here. Now there's been private residences all on this road so far, so this is not just a Forest Service road. Like, there's a cabin right down yonder. And you saw how much traffic there was when I first turned off of here. There's several pickup trucks. Somebody's got their boat trailer parked here. There's all cabins to my left. The lake is to my left. I don't know how well you can see out through the brush here. Now this, of course, in the summertime, you would be all under canopy. So you wouldn't really get too good views of the lake. If there's a clearing somewhere, I'll stop and give you that look, but I don't normally like to drive up somebody's driveway just to take pictures. Try to respect everybody's private property and so on. But if I see a little lookout, you know, don't worry, that it'll be a Kodak moment place. This road is in pretty good nick. It's not rutted out, but you know, as you can see, there's a lot of people live back here, so I'm sure there's a homeowners association that probably grades this road, and if it does get ruddy, now that interests me, that road there, but that's, let me see something, hold on, let me back up here. That's not listed on my GPS, so that's probably, I guess, private residence, but it had one of those little brown, like, forest road stickers, just said 27, but I don't know what the deal is. Ooh, that's a nice waterfall back there. I know you didn't see that, but there was a nice little waterfall back there. Kind of place where you'd like to sit in it in the summer. Okay, let me stand up a little bit and get my lazy ass up off the seat onto the pegs. Elevator up, here we go. Yeah, from where I started around Murphy, North Carolina today to like the 197 turnoff was probably about 35 miles. And before we turned off of this, I was pretty much getting like pretty antsy to get on some gravel, because up to then it was all tarmac, and I saw some of these gravel roads, but they didn't lead out to any place, or they didn't go very far. So this is a route that I looked at on Garmin Basecamp and did some research and created it and stored it on the Zumo. But you know, Garmin is still a little funny in a lot of ways, but I'm slowly, I guess, getting used to it. I didn't want to use my cell phone for navigation. Well, some people do, and they don't have any problems. Well, that's cool. But I enjoy using a separate GPS unit. My answer to that is, you know, whatever really works for you and you're comfortable using, go with it. This is all rhododendron back in here. Another month or so, these will be blooming. They'll all be orange. The lake is still down there. We're hovering it. You know, when you look at these tracks on the map, sometimes it's real misleading until you get out here, and then when you're looking at it from my perspective here, it's a whole different thing. I don't know how much you can see through those trees, but the lake is right there. Looks like this lake's probably got a pretty healthy amount of boat traffic in the summer, because everybody's got a boathouse, everybody's got a pontoon boat. I didn't realize this lake was as big as it is, because I first saw the lake when we were still out on 197. There's like a campground out there, and there's like some boat service places. I believe this is a man-made lake also. There's probably some turbines somewhere. They're generating electric. Now you see here, there's a cool looking little trail. It looks more like a hiking trail, but it's very wet. I would not try that today. Not with a 605 tire. You'd need a 606 tire to get up that. Now you can see these cabins I'm driving by, so this is by no means just a stick road, you know. It's not just for the fire. There's actually more people living back here than I thought there was going to be. But hey, you know, you don't know these things until you get out and explore and see for yourself. Now I'm on the left side of the road only because I can see the whole picture of what's coming. But boys and girls, don't do that if you can't see, or you'll be in the front of somebody's cow catcher. See, here's somebody's big old, that's Holly Point something. OB land. And now this part of the road is paved, so no rhyme, no reason. I guess a few homeowners wanted it paved, so they paved this part. Well, here's an interesting property. Look at this behind the slave fence. And there's a huge house up there. Holy cow. That's a very large cabin. Onward we go. Now these roads you can't really make too much time on because they're all twisty, and this one is paved now, but there's quite a few potholes in it. But a lot of blind corners here, so you gotta stay on your side. Yeehaw! Got up to a whole 40 mile an hour. Shazam! Golly! a nice rhododendron forest. I'm just amazed how many people live back here. I didn't think it was so densely populated. But I guess that's one of the reasons why, like, this part of the road is paved and it's maintained. There's horse stables there. The water looks green today. Here we see like a dam area up here. Pontoon boats, kayaks. Boy, that's a big house. There's some pricey properties back here, that's for sure. Looks like this is the end of the lake in this area here. It's a cove. Well, you surely don't feel deserted back here. It's not like you're all by yourself. Now we're going around the lake. I really thought there would have been some kind of a place to I think we are going to just stop here for a little bit. I want to eat some peanuts. So I'm going to bring you back a little bit later when we continue.